So, hello everybody. Maria here having coffee break with you guys. Actually, just to demonstrate that it's real coffee in Colombia, I have chosen a different locations for this nice event where we're going to be talking about marketing myths and tips with our marketing expert Sushil Krishna. So today, apart from drinking good coffee, we're going to be chatting about everything in the world of marketing, especially everything that populates social media, the internet in general, about what marketing is and how to basically work with marketeers. I have a marketing background myself, so I can share a lot about it. And I just invite everybody who's watching now to join me, grab a really nice coffee. Right now, we have a French press Americano from Colombian Hills here, Colombia. I'm here in Colombia, waiting for to get back to the Netherlands as soon as the airports are open again. And we create this space, Coffee Break with Maria, to just introduce one of our experts and let you know and share our knowledge, and so you can pick up our brains and also, of course, jump into the conversation. This is a live Q&A for a purpose. We invite you to share all your questions via comments. Right now, we're live in via Facebook and YouTube. So, with this introduction, I want to welcome Sushil. Hello, Sushil.
Hey Maria,
Hey, how
good.
are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
We were
Thanks.
talking about the fact that, for you in the Netherlands, it's like 5 p.m. and for me, it's like 10 a.m. in Colombia. So it's
Yeah,
like coffee break. Are you crazy?
no, it's like the day end with coffee or end your day with coffee.
Which is a really nice thing. When I was working there at our office at WeWork, you have 24 hours, coffee. And we
Yeah,
were running on coffee for a long time. It's not really healthy, but it's really nice to just wrap it up because
yeah,
otherwise you see people going to the Dutch world with the beer, right? Yeah.
yeah. That's always a option parallel to coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So
Wait a moment. So I just want to chat with you, do a little introduction. Again, you have been in several events with our expert pool. So yeah, I just want to do a little recap about who you are, how we met, how you end up in the Netherlands, where are you from. And after a warm
mm,
introduction, we can get started with some questions that we have prepared. But again, this whole space is about sharing questions with the audience. Today is all about marketing myths and tips from you. So we want to know everything. There's no stupid question about anything, especially in marketing that we have so much slang and so much terms and so much tools. So we do understand you guys. Feel free to share all your questions with us. So first introduction and then we get started.
yeah, sure. Thanks for the session again. Again, like for me, it's like a couple of webinars, presentation, and second coffee break. So working together. So come from a marketing, almost 5.5 year overall experience working in tech and operation on the marketing side. And me and Maria, like I think we're already in touch almost 2.5 years or so,
Mhm.
working on different sides of it, be it events or community building or running campaigns. So personally, on my side, more I'm working on the inbound and digital marketing side towards
Mhm.
a bit good strategical alignment on the sales system, strategy, and execution phases. So from nowhere to somewhere, or from somewhere to even more precise location, that's where we plan it out. And it's been quite some time doing it at different client location from strategy to execution point. And also, I'm very much happy to come time to time, share stuff on events, some strategies, give it like top of the views. And happy again to be here. Yeah,
Nice to feel. So
yeah,
people should think about you. At the expert pool, we have more than 50 experts on 10 different categories. Our biggest category is digital marketing. Especially marketing in general.
yeah.
Uh, when should people think about you? Because we're thinking I focus on inbound marketing. First of all, what is that for people who are not marketers or don't
Mhm.
know the Java? What is inbound marketing and what type of industries you work with or what type of clients?
Yeah, sure. So that's also very important to understand if you are ready to market, ready to have kind of system, and then you realize that what is actually contributing to my business. if I'm ready for inbound or outbound proposition. Say inbound actually is a category which does contains everything which is part of digital marketing. So if we
Mhm.
want to grow a business, like it's the ideal and nice to have or enjoyable position when your prospect or customer comes to you rather you go to them. So that's the process in layman term or in very general non-technical language is inbound. So people
Mhm.
or prospects, your target audience is coming to you, then this is inbound process. But what you need to do to set it up, then it has certain functional and elements within the inbound. So we have to focus on the search, social content, and some of the value proposition that is a pain point for your target audience. When we develop that one and put it out there on internet, which means we are creating a process to people, your target audience now started finding you, and that's when inbound starts in. Outbound, on the other hand, like you got a list of your target audience, you started reaching them out via different channel, social or any other way. That's another aspect of it. So coming to question like when should they start looking into it? And I would say like this is a process which probably you got to have from your day one maybe, or you have something like from your network exploitation to your first degree connections to relatives, friends. That's how you got some initial um, leads or your early stage customers or early
Mhm.
adopters.
Yeah.
Then it's a consistent or continuous process of thinking like how I'm going to increase the base that I have already got in, right? So and that's where knowingly or unknowingly you are heading towards inbound processes, identifying the channels, the methods, assets that is required, then which is actually adding some percentage, let's say X% in your month or quarterly revenue
Mhm.
contribution. And that's where you should start looking into, okay, now I have a good understanding of my prospect, good understanding of what I am offering to them, and I need to add a step-by-step scale. So every 90 day, I want to increase twofold or threefold my customer base. Then you start thinking about a scalable inbound marketing process or outbound marketing process. That's the phase where you can really uh, get a process and test it out pretty quickly whether it's working or not,
Mhm.
and then eliminate what is not working for you. Of course, it's going to be iterative process, multiple stages. So yeah, that's initial stage
That's
to
in a
inbound.
nutshell.
Yeah,
So basically, I think about Sushil. When I think about B2B, you also work a lot with companies that have other companies as potential clients. For
yeah,
example, our case at Expert Pool, we're supporting companies, so we are a B2B company,
mhm.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from that, you know a lot of different tools, you know a lot of different people. You have a huge meetup in Amsterdam on digital marketing.
Yeah,
So that makes you an expert and an approachable person, because I mean, our criteria to work with experts is that the experts, apart from knowing what they know, of course, that they need to know what they're talking about. The second thing is that they can simplify their knowledge in a way that is accessible to everybody. And that's why we created this type of spaces, like coffee break, chill, relax. We're just going to talk about anything across our 10 different categories with our experts and see how we can add value or help you to make that click, that connection in the point where you struggle, where you need help. And marketing is like a really common area. Like marketing and sales is like everyday request for us. People are
yeah,
asking all the time, how can I make sales? How can I get my first clients or grow my client base? All of these different challenges that you already described. So
yeah.
going more in the matter of myths, let's talk about what are the most common myths when thinking about digital marketing that you have identified, like in your whole time working as a marketeer.
Yeah, no,
First of
sure. I
all,
mean, that's very important aspect to know what actually is that marketing part is, which is, I
mhm,
think, not, and what actually it is not. And what it is not is the one good to eliminate out. Like you can pick it out some points that these are the things that I'm doing, but this is not the way to achieve your objective or goal that you have set it up, right?
Mhm.
And the first point to start looking into it, on the myth and this side, every action that you have identified. Let's say I want to do a social media. That's a good thing to do a social media. But what's your strategy? Was there any reasonable, like rationale of doing social media, or is just a random some post, some pictures, and then you expect that leads gonna powered in? That's like that's it. Meaning you are not doing social media. That's not what social media is meant about, right? So
Mhm.
different aspects are like. So I would say quantify with each channel, each activity on a result side. So I'm gonna do this. This have a associated or aligned objective, and that way you will be able to, over a given time of period, you will be able to evaluate it whether it is actually something useful and valuable I'm doing for my business, for my target audience, or I'm just doing something which I don't know what actually it is bringing me back.
Mhm.
So some of the myth, which I often hear is on the content marketing side, also on the social media channel side. Also, I'm saying like I know my audience very well, but actually you have literally some features or some characteristics that you know on the top of it, and that's why some of the content which has not been very well written in the format of content consumer fit, which is
Mhm.
like you have written a piece of content which is actually addressing the pain point, but you only don't gonna know about pain point when you know your prospect very well,
Mhm.
and then that will have a still, let's say, 6 week of timeline to bring life span to bring you one lead. So all these points of knowing your audience, audience intelligence, knowing your channel, channel intelligence, or any of the functional activity of the search, social content, can be a myth, can be a deep, can be like very much specific. But if not, none of these research or you doing it and you are not getting result, then I think what it is actually is mean that it's the same thing. Some paragraphs, some photos, some videos,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're saying that I'm doing content, I'm doing social, but actually it's not. It's just like time.
yeah.
You're just buying the
I'm
time
the
and putting
same.
something in it, feeling like I'm doing. So
I
that's a
think,
myth.
yeah. So a
Yeah,
recap would be that thinking that marketing is equal to writing a lot of content without any strategy, just posting
yeah,
things on Instagram
yeah,
or like making
yeah,
nice photos or,
yeah,
just focusing on content without
yeah.
strategy. One.
See, within in a social media, many of those things goes. Say you post content, but they can be very strategic, like what kind of the top key hashtag you want to target. Within that, do you want to get featured? Do you want to build more partnerships? Do you want to make collaboration posting? So that goes too deep inside your target audience segment. Probably better outcome, even if you do fewer posts or fewer content production side.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Capito. Another thing is the confusion that we often have between marketing and sales. That people say, let's invest some money in advertisements, and then the next day is how many clients do we have? It's like the short-term version or perspective around marketing.
Yeah. So when the ad, let's say paid campaign ad side. So what very important aspect is it's like electric plug. So meaning that the moment you keep paying, you have some activities you see, like some charge coming up, some lights are you know on. The moment you plug out, you stop paying any of that, nothing gonna come out.
Hmm.
And compare the whole process with writing content. You have devoted some content writer, you did the research, and you managed to deliver even a one or two piece in 1 month, which is consumer market fit. That means that piece of content gonna live forever, and it can, if not today, so many, but over the time it will keep sending you some traffic, some visit. Whereas in your paid ad side, um, you spend, the moment you stop spending, you're not going to get anyone visiting some on your proposition. But on the
Hmm.
other hand, it's a very good combination to keep
Yeah,
in a match. It does not mean that you should not run paid ad, which meaning that this there are limited channel of scale,
yeah.
and paid ad is one channel for sure, and SEO, of course, like the way it long term processes. Yeah.
It's like a combination between short-term and long-term
Long
action.
term. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Let's move to the next question. So, what's the
Yeah.
importance of counting on a marketing strategy before getting started? Because you say, okay, you need to basically know what you want from all of these
Mm.
efforts. So you mentioned that it's super important because then you're just shooting to a moon, you're just doing like a lot
Yeah.
of shots. So
Yeah.
what's
So
the role of strategy and how to approach strategy? Because people can say strategy is what? A whole document of 30 pages. What is a strategy? Marketing
no,
strategy.
yeah. So I think the first step that be just like a practical example that what I do or most of the time when we go and where do we start from? As the first phase, of course, is to look in the system. Do we have some marketing system already in place, or if not, then we try to build up, keeping few points in mind. Is that easy to use? It's scalable. Like as you grow, you can scale your system. Maybe not. That's a very important point. Otherwise, like you go today, you used 3 years one system and now you have grown enough, then you have to replace the whole system. That is a lot of cost to you, right?
Yeah.
That system must be scalable as you grow your business side. And the third thing, apart from your system scalability, use and the one is the iterative processes. So how
Mm-hmm.
flexible is your system that we are building on the marketing side is to connect with multiple other touch points, multiple other tools, technology, APIs that we need. So that's the
Yeah.
one thing. The second part of apart from, so first is system. Second part is overall objective of the marketing is of course to generate the demand. So demand gen process. So
Mm-hmm.
demand generation is one of the thing which is primarily led by the marketing side, and it has multiple components overall. So if we comes to start looking into strategy side, as I said before, you definitely got to have a target, also have a channel intelligence, audience intelligence, which does not mean that you kind of have to go and buy some tool to develop this intelligence, which meaning that it's within your business itself. It's within your people who are daily basis talking, your customer support people, your sales people. They are interacting and facing the people, and they are knowing a lot about it. So how a marketing department collects all those information and build up in the marketing system to start a picture, paint a picture who we are actually targeting.
Mm-hmm.
So strategy wise, of course, business to business, it varies a lot, the target audience and segment. But every strategy on the demand side that we are designing has a OKRs, which is like objective and key result driven. So each pillar in demand gen strategy must have an associated result or objective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we get like 2,000 leads coming in, then 10 times of that, or 10% or 20% is MQL, and then 3 to 4% is SQL. That's how
Mm-hmm.
it trickles out in the funnel. So every strategy has a funnel view of the goal, and need to be quantified, and then associated budget. So I'm going to spend this much amount for this particular activity in the demand gen side, and it will expect to give us this much SQLs or MQLs, depends what is it.
What is
Um,
SQL? Just please translate.
yeah, okay. So SQL is of course the sales qualified leads. So and first, of course, you are acquiring from inbound processes the lead that comes. They qualify, they become marketing qualified. If you have nurturing and other things, they engage a lot. Then you move progressively to the next stage, that is SQL, and then after SQL is opportunity or customer. That's why this whole process can be automatic, and that's where your system plays important roles.
Okay. So you can automate, but that doesn't mean that if you don't have this bunch of tools to get started, you cannot think or have the mindset from strategic perspective. You can do it without
Yeah,
automation, without all the tools necessarily, but of course, some
sure.
tools
In the
are
beginning, yeah,
great. But in
sure.
the
In the
beginning,
beginning, you
you
can
should
build up.
start from the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning, you can build it up like just in a sheet, in a Google Sheet or Excel. You can build it up, and you can see manually first doing it, and then when you know that now it is overflowing, it cannot be managed in a seat, then it's a time to move into some system.
That's the indication. Whenever you
Yeah.
cannot manage your Excel, it's a time to get the system.
Yeah, that's also when indicating like goes back to your last question, like when we
Yeah,
should start thinking about it.
yeah. When to start thinking about, yeah, it's true. But
Yeah.
apart from that, like let's say you have your goals, you have the objectives clear, the channels clear. Of course, you know your target audience. You already measure what works. But when it's about marketing and you're thinking about results, what are the things that you should expect or when you should measure when it comes to marketing results?
Yeah, so in the marketing results side, there are two main parameter, which is budget and timeline. So, say if you keep doing something, then eventually you will get there, right? But
Eventually, better sooner than
eventually, yeah. But that's not what you want. Like a time bound manner and a speed in a time bound framework is something that makes. And if you keep doing something and your business is like bleeding and dying away, so you're probably not gonna. Uh, Maybe you're not gonna live to see the result of something which is you just keep doing. So what's parameter on measuring all those things? That's why the OKR model is very important. I think for every function within the marketing itself. So there are two kind of KPIs. One is the business KPIs when
Mhm.
you are tracking overall growth of the business, maybe top line, bottom line, MRR, ARR, etc. Then
Well, I
others.
didn't get anything that the Chinese you gave me now.
So no, I mean your revenue is like monthly revenues or annual recurring revenues. So those
Yes.
are your top line. So those are business metrics, like how the business is growing. Other side of that is a functional metrics, so which is marketing KPIs. Say about your SEO side, you have KPIs. Content side, like how many blog traffic is growing, if that blog is helping you to grow the traffic or not, and qualified buyers, etc. So those are functional KPIs. Do not confuse over functional KPI. Like I have a good CTR and good open rate, then that's not necessarily going to convert in your business KPI,
Yeah.
right? So, so that's what important when it comes to measuring it. Measure it separately. We would love to measure it separately. My business metrics is a separate thing to measure, and my functional metrics within the marketing, within the sales are to the department labor or to the people who are working on it, and then somehow try to establish if the functional level KPIs are performing well, does the impact is also reflecting on the business side, business KPIs in the annual recurring revenue or quarter on quarter revenue or not, right? So that is what you can be better be able to attribute. Every activity need to be get attributed what it is bringing in the business KPI side.
Mhm.
So that's why it's important, and this kind of system become a little bit complicated if there is no system. That's the one pointer there. But first we need to look into it roughly, manually doing it in a Google Sheet. That will give you a hint.
Yeah. Plus, the distinction that you made now with business KPIs and more like technical KPIs, it's really important because most of strategies or most of marketers that
Mm.
come to offer like I will give you this amount of followers or likes or reach,
Yeah,
yeah,
email
those,
open rate. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a good email open rate, and we need to increase it. But what it's all that meaning to your business?
Yeah.
So it's really, really important to make the distinction. Not that it's not important to engage with your audience or so, but
No.
you don't make it for the sake of making that. You know, you don't
Yeah.
make it, you don't post on social just to get some likes and some
Yeah.
comments below, right?
Those KPIs are also important, but yeah, then
Yeah,
must
but
be
they need to be
impact.
framed correctly
Yeah.
in alignment with the business goals, right? Or with
Business.
the
Yeah.
business KPIs.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
interesting, Sushil. Thank you. So coming to that, like when you think, okay, I'm ready, I'm going to get some extra help, because of course some people are used to also check online what works or how to set up a Facebook campaign or whatever. A lot of companies or a lot of business owners, especially solo entrepreneurs, they do it themselves, so it's like they go for the do it solution, so do it yourself solution, or asking to a friend solution, and then there are
Mhm.
partial efforts that many times are ending up with frustrations, a lot of frustrations. So when you think, okay, it's time to get extra help from an expert, or any freelance work, or even hiring your first marketeer, what you
Yeah.
need to think about? Like, if I'm thinking like, oh, yeah, Sushil, you're completely right, I need somebody like you, what should I look for?
Yeah, no, I mean, if someone is doing things by themselves and you feel like you're not able to produce what actually you want, that's the time,
Mhm,
right? So, which meaning that you have other important other important business function that you really want to be focused upon. That's also on look at it in two bucket. One is your time, your availability, and your capacity,
uh-huh,
and this that's the one aspect of it. And also the second part is your skill set, or kind of trick, or the experience in optimizing and setting that you yourself as a business owner got. Either you're going to acquire the skill by learning video tutorials or something, and that has of course going to come with a vested interest and cost of time. So those are the like a trade-off. So either you manage time to learn it, and then probably you have gonna give the result over the course of time. If not, then that's a good also idea, like uh,
mhm,
to speed up the little bit output per the expectation from your any campaign, doesn't matter which channel it is. To look for someone who can really by spending a few hours a day, it can build a scalable system in the ad campaign manager. Doesn't
mhm,
matter, channel, irrespective of the channel. So it can give you, it can set right KPIs for you, can set the right campaign structure, right budget and scheduling, and also give you some hint how to optimize it over the time. That's like it's not like nothing you can do. If you want to do, you can start writing Python code today, right? But so, but
I like
the
it.
yeah,
There's
but
nothing
the
you can't do, but do you really want to do everything for your
yeah,
business?
that's a question mark. What do you
Yeah,
really want to do? So
100%.
yeah,
And
so that
I
way
think
you can split. Yeah.
in that sense, what we do with our proposition from the expert pool perspective is, hey, whenever you need that help, or whenever you realize that you don't have the in-house knowledge, or that you don't want to go through all the process of learning things yourself, we can help you out. So, and we can help you out not only in a way that we do it 100%, but that we can also check where you are at, and jump from there. Like, just take it from there, right? That's the thing. I think I lost you a little bit. Yes,
No.
we lost each other. I think we lost each other for a second. Boom.
Yeah. No.
Here
No.
you
No.
are. So I
Now
think
back.
that, yeah, that what we can bring to the table from expert pool perspective is the possibility of having that trigger, like, hey, I need this and that for things to work. We
Mhm.
are entrepreneurs ourselves. We know how it is to think about everything around your business. And you need the legal, you need the accountant, you need the marketer, you need everything. So what we try is to stop, to save some time on
Yeah.
searching for the right people, and also the whole learning curve that is necessary, because we want our clients to learn. It's not like, oh, he is a good marketer, hire him and don't ask any questions. No, we want them to learn from all the topics, but we need to be realistic about how much you can do as a business owner, or especially when you're starting to hire people, or to create your own teams, or
Yeah.
train them. Like, it's not expected that you're an expert of everything.
Yeah.
So it's good to be realistic, to keep it brutally honestly to yourself. Like, do I really want to go through all these video tutorials, or do it myself until I get exhausted in the effort of reaching my business goals? you
Yeah.
know
It's as simple as urgent and important metrics, right? Everything that is urgent may not be important equally, but you got to prioritize stuff. What is urgent and important both for your business, and that will also dictate what in your marketing department. That will also dictate the key activities that need to be picked up by a marketing person or your salespeople or business operation people, right? I mean, that's the implication to the overall organization. And and you just going back to question about like on a strategy side of the marketing, right, or the sales or business growth. Let's say we say marketing and sales is a revenue facing team, revenue generation team. So when you have urgent and important metrics, and then you identify all the task items which are urgent and important both, then you're going to dictate, okay, we need to get these items done by the concerned department. So here comes a marketing person. You scale up my LinkedIn channel to give me 10 inquiries, or invite the 10 top-notch decision maker to come to my event. And then we're going to make some conversation, start making deal with them. So that's goes for a business owner also, like what is urgent and important right now to scale the business, or learn my advertising trick over Khan Academy. All right.
That's a nice tip. Distinguish between urgent and important. And talk to Sushil, because we want this to be the beginning of a nice conversation. We have 15 minutes exploratory calls with all of our experts for free. So if you want to ask anything on a one-on-one basis, make sure that you book a meeting with him. You know, we're going to post his link via comments, so you can just continue the conversation on this relevant topic, especially because, you know, marketing is really specific to your business, where you're standing, your industry, who you are, what your goals are, and especially distinguishing what is important versus urgent. So thank you, Sushil, for this time.
Thanks.
I hope that you can have a lot of people because we're going to continue the conversation via the exploratory call. And I see you, everybody. I see you as well, Sushil, next Monday, because we're going to be talking about workspace after COVID-19. So it's going to be interesting as well.
Interesting topic, exactly.
Thank you for sharing everything you are with us. Have an amazing week, everybody. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.